Hi, this is our second BBI video. So today we are going to talk about how to reduce climate change. So first, what do you think that our climate has changed? What do you think why does it change?
How does it affect us? Or
It's a large city with many people and cars, and architecture and manufacture factories in our city. So the manufacturing facilities use huge quantities of fresh water to carry waste of many kinds.
I think more place people are hawking trees made into work or art. Use tree work art.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Trees.
can you go more deep about this? Can you go more further about what are you discussing? How do you spell the trees?
Trees.
Trees.
Yeah.
Trees.
Do you mean that more and more people is cutting the trees?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Made into work the art.
We need to build the house, need to use some the many of trees and the products of paper. Some of the table chairs need to use the trees.
Yeah, that's right.
Trees. Yeah, like what you mean. So many kinds of furniture or factory, we need use of many trees. So all of them are chopping down the tree. So reduce the number of tree in our global.
Yeah, what you're saying is right. From another aspect, while in agriculture, there will be a lot of waste. But how do they get rid of waste? They actually burn it, which causes a lot of greenhouse gases have been released.
Like CO2, like carbon monoxide will release from when you're doing the open burning. So it will like affect our atmosphere and it make our global become warmer and warmer. Do everyone agree with me?
Yeah,
Yes. And not only warmer and warmer, and in some place it becomes cold and colder.
I understand what you get. That means some place will get more colder and some place will get so much warmer.
Yes.
Yeah, so
It's not balanced.
in conclusion, the reason why the climate is changing is the human activities that change the atmosphere's
Yeah,
composition.
I agree with you. That is the human action which change the climate. It's not the climate change by itself, it's what we do that actually change the climate.
Yes, it is.
So now we're going to discuss about how to reduce this climate change. What can we do?
Do you have any idea what can we do to reduce the climate change?
I hope I could make some contribution to the elimination of pollution in my home, because in the north of China the four seasons are distinguishable, and now the winter is hotter and hotter, summer is the temperature higher and higher. So it's
Are you trying to say the temperature is higher and higher?
in summer,
Alright.
and in winter the temperature is colder and colder.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't agree you more.
So I think we should start by ourselves to do some
Contribution.
yes, to protect our environment. Like when drinking or eating outside, you should keep the garbage until you found a trash can to put it in the garbage. Later, not throw the litter everywhere.
Oh, I get what you mean. That means we need to like grouping the garbage properly, like recycle it in the orange or brown, blue
Oh yes.
tone, but not mixing them in a one big rubbish bin, so that we can recycle the items again.
I'm sorry, I don't quite get it. How can garbage related to the climate change? Do you mind to explain a little bit more?
Littering make our planet dirty, right?
Yes.
And nobody would like to see trash all over the world.
But how does that affect the climate?
So when we drinking or eating outside, we should do that trash by
Yeah.
ourselves.
Reduce the trash.
Like pick up the trash later and to
May
throw
I
out.
have you to explain this? I think trees mean that the garbage need to burn so that to deal with the garbage.
Okay, what she's trying to say is if the garbage is not carried off, it will be burned, right?
Yeah.
And burning will affect the climate and
Yes,
it make the
greenhouse-
climate become
greenhouse.
hotter and hotter.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so I suggest that like what you say that we can start from our own first, like we can carpooling, share the transport. If you want to reach the same destination with someone else, maybe you can share the transport with them so that the vehicles can reduce the number of gases released.
Yeah, I agree with you because I think in Malaysia and one family have more and more two more the cars. But in China, maybe some families have more the cars, but most of the families will choose other transport and like the high train.
Highway.
Highway train. Highway.
Highway.
High-speed train.
High speed way.
High-speed train.
Is it
High
a
speed
Or
train, yeah.
something like MRT.
Oh, train.
And the subway is very convenient for us. And if we choose a car, is not very crowded. So sometimes we will choose a subway and high and train to go somewhere. It's
So-
very
I'm trying to say that in China, the public transport is developed is quite good, so that the government will help to reduce the global change in reduce the global climate change in another way.
yes, and I think this is belongs to the public resource. We can reduce the carbon dioxide, and we will keep the environment, and then we can reduce the climate change.
I get what you mean.
Yes.
But I have to disagree. You means we need our own change, right?
Sorry, could you repeat?
You means we need our own change to how to
Yes, they are saying that we need to
Change our attitude.
change our the action to reduce the climate change.
yes. But I think let everyone change is not impossible.
What you're trying to say is your change you're trying to making the change is not impossible.
Yes, everyone change is impossible. Because if everyone can change, so many years the environment will not be getting worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion, the government must strengthen the punishment.
Punishment,
Yeah, punishment.
penalty, you mean?
Yeah, from government. Severely punish people or factory, because factory pollution is very serious.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like some factory which is very irresponsible, they will get rid of the waste in a very inappropriate way that will actually affect and pollute our environment and that will cause climate change.
Yeah.
For example, they burn it, or maybe they just they burn it and the burning will actually release all those gases and it making our environment hotter and hotter, and it causes the iceberg to start melting and sea water level is higher. So that is and all these they will eventually cause it will eventually affect us, because when seawater level is higher it will cause flash flood, and some of the place which is already low and it will be flooded and that place can no longer be lived.
Yes.
So that's why we going to discussing how to reduce the climate change.
This
Yeah. Do you have anything trying to say?
I think this problem is not a problem in which one country, is our humans problem during the whole world. So every country should be contribute to this problem to reduce the climate change. So some developing countries are using more and more energy to produce the product, but some developed country already finished the process and goes into energy efficient process. So some developing country also need more energy to produce. I think that's the problem.
Okay, what are you trying to say is the government is trying to find another resource to replace the fuels or anything is more environmental friendly
Yes.
to our earth.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Okay, I get what you mean.
Climate change. I think every country's government is a more responsibility.
For some points, I agree with them. Government has the responsible to give some policies to deal with the problem. The problem is climate change. Some like for example, in Malaysia, 2 years ago, I came here. And the Malaysia and the government for the plastic is free. And if you buy something, it's a free plastic. You can use many plastics, but now you need to pay it. I think this is country's resource. So this is the government policy.
I couldn't agree you more because start from now on, our like in Penang, government doesn't agree the shop or doesn't agree the businessman to use the plastic bag as free and distribute to others. Public need to pay for 20 cents for a plastic. So this is maybe a government policy try to reducing the climate change by their way.
Yeah, and do you know that actually in Selangor, plastic is prohibited. I mean, not prohibited. If it is not being distributed every time you buy something from Monday to Sunday. It was only practiced only weekend in the past, but now it's all days.
Yes, the situation is like that, but there is another thing. The plastic bag, the usage of plastic bag is not reduced, still like before.
That means what you're trying to say is we shouldn't use plastic bag at all.
Yeah, we shouldn't use plastic bag at all. But this policy didn't change the usage of plastic bag.
Actually, it changed gradually because government need public need some time to practice their life without plastic bag. So government they can't like one day like they're announcing tomorrow we cancel all the using of plastic bag.
Because 20 cents is nothing to anyone. So
Yeah.
I think it's
But it's actually a start to implement some rules to like telling people that using plastic is wrong.
Yeah.
So it's not from the money side they are considering, but it's the awareness they bring up.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on to the next point?
Okay.
Okay, I think some developed country they are actually driving car with hydrogen gas, which will not release gases that will harm our environment. I think we shall look into this and we should develop vehicle that can serve the same as the one we have now, but at the same time it will not cause harm to our environment. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you trying to say is scientists can work more on this and
Yes.
maybe they can find another solution like to degrade the plastic bag easily but not make the plastic bag no more harmful to the environment.
No, what I'm trying to say is that we try not to use fuel, because fuel will actually give up some gases that will harm our climate.
Yes.
So you are trying to say we need to
We
use
change it to some renewable.
another kind of energy which is recyclable.
Yes, what you're saying is right.
I could get what you mean.
Do you guys agree with that?
Yes, but I think for us more important we need to have strong councils to reduce the climate change. If we have the realize, we will do myself. is very important. If we use technology, we can create something. Like in China, just students, university students can create the classes, but this is not normal classes. We can edit. In an exchange word, when we use it, we can edit, so we can is not pollution for our environment.
Yes, I see your point because what I see on YouTube recently, they invent something like a water ball. So that means they can reduce the uses of these plastic bottle because by using the water ball they can feed water. At the same time, you can eat the water ball, and so we can reduce the usage of plastic bottle and in another way reduce the harmful to environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If we use some technology, if you use your study, we can create more and more some production to reduce the climate change. And in the world, and other create like this the washing machine. We will use the moment of water and moment of electricity. But the create product for the washing machine use 2% the electric and the 2% the water, so I can save moment of water and electricity.
Yeah.
This is very.
Okay, do you have anything to add?
I want to ask, what do you mean by the moment of water?
Yes, it's a product to can save the water and the electric. So we can if we have the consciousness, we have the knowledge, we can create the products to
Oh, I see.
change our life.
Yeah, that means you want to work out something and to change our life.
Yes.
What she was trying to say is that there is now an invention of a washing machine that is able to save the amount of energy used and amount of water used.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Right? Okay, as just now what he said that a lot of factories are actually giving out a lot of gases that will affect our climate change, right?
Yes.
And I think scientists should work on how to filter those gases before releasing it. Like we maybe can filter it before we release it to the environment.
Yes, we need to develop our technology.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I think this and the technology have the contribution our life, and not only this, and where is very common the solar panel.
Yeah, and last but not least, the parents first they need to teach their children how important to reduce the climate change, how the climate change affect our life. So for me, parents teaching education is very important for the children so that they can realize the problem since they are small.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Base, for saying that awareness is the most important thing. Like all those ideas we have mentioned, we need people with those awareness to do it. Like if you do not know the importance of how to maintaining our climate now, or maybe make it better, you will not put in effort to make it better.
Yes.
Right? What do you think?
All in all, you mean save our resource.
Yes, we need to save our resource, but also we need to reduce the usage, and we need to take care of the waste.
So we can study on some new technology to find some new energies to may provide a better way to solve this problem.
Yes, this
Yes,
is what
you're
we were
right.
discussing just now. So all of us would agree with that. Technology can provide us a better way to reduce the climate change. And just now, she already discussed many inventions that did by someone else so that it can reduce the climate change.
Just to add on your point, what agriculture part is doing now is that the plantation will give out a lot of waste. There are some company they are taking back the waste and they make it into compost and they put it back on the plant to make it grow better as a fertilizer. So this is how they utilize the waste and put it back as a useful way.
Yes,
Yes.
so that they can make use of, they can gain more benefit from that. At the same time, they won't
Cause any harm.
they won't cause any pollution to our earth. I get what you mean.
Right.
So algorithm and everybody have the concerns for reduce the climate change.
Do you mind to repeat what you were saying?
Yeah, and I mean and I agree with them. And everybody have the concerns, have realized to how to reduce the climate change. We should do this.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we should have the awareness.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Do you mind to go further?
Go further.
Can you explain more about your point?
I just better way say one.
Okay. So does anyone have anything to add?
I have a question. Because develop of industry brings about much pollution to the environment. Industry is the greatest source of pollution. But we can't stop in industrialization to protect the environment because the industry have altered the world's economy. So how we deal with manufacturers' pollution?
As what our friends mentioned just now, the government should actually enforce the law. Like you can produce something with and you have waste, but you need to take care of the waste. You can't let it just affect our climate. Like you need to, for example, if you are giving out some toxic gases or maybe greenhouse gases, maybe you can first filter it. Or if you are giving out some acid, maybe you can't just let it into down in drain. You can maybe put into some other use. Just like how I say the agricultural waste, maybe they can put into that use. And it is not only the waste is taken care of, but also it is economic and cost efficient.
Yeah, I agree with him. The product must more than the waste. We should produce more and waste less. Deal with waste of the waste of product and make it more efficient, right? Efficient.
Yes.
Efficient.
Efficient.
Yes. Efficient.
Yeah, right.
Efficient. Yes.
I think now country will can announce some the industrial in exchange words and some industrial and give the pollution. The government will name them the closed and to how to reduce the pollution, and the government will give some the punishment for them. And some it's a very important pollution industrial will be closed now. I think more and more industrial will be the green.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. The situation in China is the big factory is not the problem of making the greenhouse gas. The problem is there is many illegal factory, and that's the reason.
Are you trying to say that the one who is creating a lot of
Yes.
greenhouse gases is not the factory which is registered in, but in fact is the illegal factory which causes the
Yes,
thing?
they don't have the certifications to produce the product.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I think the government should work harder on this. They should find out, or they should like providing more technology so that the factory can purify their waste before they're released back into environment.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot more that we need to discover. Like in science, how do we get rid of this thing to give us a better environment? Right. So all in all, today we have discussed about ways to reduce to reduce climate change. Some of it is the government should enforce the law, and we should bring up the awareness.
Yeah, and all of us should have the concept that how important is how to reduce the climate change and how it cause our environment more serious and more bad situation.
Yes.
Right, that is all for our discussion. Thank you for watching our video.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Miss.
OK，可以停了。
幾耐
2分。
？Oh my god！我講太耐咗。
按這個
死啊死啊死啊！
按中間的這個嗎？
按